everybody. Hope all you commuters out there are having a nice, soupy Chicago late July morning. This is DJ Dolph, and you're listening to the DJ Dolph Commuter Variety Hour here on WNUR every Wednesday from 7:30 to 9:30 a.m. As I am known for, I played some French techno to start out the set. And yeah, I've played it before, but you know what? If I'm not sick of it, how is it possible that you are sick of it? So, I'm not exactly sure where I'm going to go after this. I think I'm going to do a little more French, more chill techno. Who cares? Just keep listening. So, not too much else to say besides that was Lifelike with the song Sequencer, followed by Motion. Yeah. Hope you're keeping it together out there. It's Wednesday, you know. It's halfway through the week if you have a traditional work week. I have today off. That's why I come and do this early in the morning. There's nothing special about me. You could be like me too. Or maybe there is, I don't really know. Who can, you know, was it I think it was Henry David Thoreau, or was it Ralph Waldo Emerson? Is it Walt Whitman? One of those transcendentalists. Walt Whitman wasn't transcendentalist. Who said, would there be any greater miracle than for us to look through each other's eyes, even for just a moment? And then we would know. You'd look through my eyes, I'd look through your eyes, and we would know if I was special or not. I suspect I'm actually not very special. Maybe I'm kind of special. These are the deep questions we ask on the DJ Dolph Commuter Variety Hour. You're currently listening to Indradeep Ghosh on the violin. And Raha Indra Danush on the tabla. I saw these guys like a month ago. They're really good. It's almost like bluegrass music in a way, but with a lot more portamento. That guy's good.
その笑顔胸の傷を治せても心の無駄遣いまたあの日に遊びましょう
Everybody, this is DJ Dolph. You're listening to the DJ Dolph Commuter Variety Hour here on WNUR 89.3 FM, broadcasting in HD1 from the beautiful campus of Northwestern University in Evanston, Chicago, on the Great Lake, Michigan. Also online at WNUR.org. We're having a hashtag splendid time. Been slamming you with that variety. Slamming. You're currently listening to actually Radiohead. You'd never guess it. But this is the song Pyramid Song, except it's slowed by 800%. It's something I've listened to a lot in my day. It's a serious vibe. Just go on YouTube, search Pyramid Song 800% slower. You'll get it. And then you can study to it, or I don't know. This is one of the, people use music to study. I am quintessentially distracted by music because I love it too much. So if I'm actually going to concentrate on something else, unless it's like a video game, I have to listen to something as ethereal and ambient as this, because otherwise it ain't gonna work. Well, maybe you're interested in what we heard during that set. Most recently, you listened to Kishi Bashi, Japanese-American artist, with the song Chiba Funk. I don't know what Chiba means. I've only ever heard it used in the context of a synonym for marijuana, which is an illegal drug. And then right before that, we heard Darius with the song Espoir. And he's going to be in Chicago September 11th. Go to dariusofficial.com and you can get a ticket for like $35 at the Concord House or whatever. Darius, of course, French. We heard Comtrues with the song Ultra Fiche of You. I wish I could remember what an ultra fiche is. Oh, and in case you were interested and you didn't know French, espoir means hope. But I will not be able to tell you what ultra... You know what, let me just search it. Oh. It's a microfiche. What's a microfiche? Oh, a flat piece of film containing micro photographs of the pages of a newspaper. Oh, interesting. I've looked this up before, but I forgot it. So I guess an ultrafiche, that's what the... Ultrafiche is a type of microfiche with a very high reduction ratio, typically 90x or greater. Come back every Wednesday morning. Learn something new with DJ Dolph. Well, those are the first two songs on the set. Let's look at the next 5. We had Clams Casino with the song I'm God. I don't think I've ever heard anything else from Clams Casino. Maybe I should search them. I've known that song since, good lord, a real long time. And of course, Laserhawk with the song So Far Away. I think Clams Casino, I'm God, and Laserhawk So Far Away came into my psyche, my realization of their reality in about the same time, like 2012 or 2013. And it was not new music then either. I'm not a new music person. I like to find the best stuff and then just hoard it. I think we started the set out with Lifelike, again, French techno, with the song Getting High. And gosh, I'm seeing a theme a little bit because that was remixed by Pyramid, which is another French dude. And we're listening to the Pyramid song. Dang. That's some straight up Illuminati crap. Can't say the S word on the air. Can't say the F word either. I think those are the only two that's like a hard and fast rule. Which is kind of hilarious because it gets a lot worse. Maybe not. So let's continue on. I'm gonna find this song by Mid MYD. I can't remember the name of it though. I know it came out at the same time as another song that I really like though. So listen to the Radiohead. I'm gonna find it. Just a minute.
darkness. Then came the strangers. First, there was darkness. Then came the strangers. They were a race as old as time itself. They had mastered the ultimate technology, the ability to alter physical reality. They called this ability tuning.
Hail, citizens of Chicago. This is DJ Dolph, and you're listening to the DJ Dolph Commuter Variety Hour here on WNUR 89.3 FM HD1, Evanston, Chicago. Broadcasting online at WNUR.org. Chicago's Sound Experiment. You're currently listening to Thelonious Monk and Paul Motian. A song called Crepuscule with Nelly. I just learned that crepuscule means twilight. I don't know why it has to have such a fancy name. That book series with that got made into a movie, it should have been called Crepuscule instead of Twilight. That would have been better marketing. So, it's been pretty groovy so far this morning. I hope it's helping everyone get to their place of employment. That's why I called it the DJ Dolph Commuter Variety Hour. You just heard the song Space Maneuvers by Quiver. Q-U-I-B-B-E-R. They came out in like 2003 or something. I know that song because of Paul Oakenfold's Creamfields. That came out in 2004. Amazing. Oh my gosh, Paul Oakenfold is so good. You're my hero, Paul. One of my heroes. We heard before that Les Matos with Sarah. I don't know what is it with Freemasonry this morning, but you should look it up on YouTube, and it's like literally this guy trying to recruit you as a Freemason on the picture. But maybe I shouldn't say anything. Maybe it should just be a secret for me. And then you just get influenced. And you don't even know it. Before that we had Jamiroquai with the song Don't Give Hate a Chance. And you're gonna think this is funny. It's a remix by an artist referring to himself as Freemason. I don't know what it's all about, man. Why does it keep on coming up? I'm calling the cops right now. They're probably Freemasons too. Well, you know what? I actually was at I heard online that there's a lot of cops that are Freemasons, and I talked to a police lieutenant or something, like somebody sort of high up. I was doing a job with him, and I asked him if people in the Chicago Police Department are Freemasons, and he said he knew of no one who was. So maybe he's trying to mislead me, or maybe what I read online wasn't true. I doubt that. Actually, everything you read online is true. And we had Leo Pohl with You Got the Funk. It was a little boring, so I cut it off. And we had J. Colt and Colt Sewart with the flute song, the flute tune jam. We started the set out with Mid, All Inclusive. And I know there was one more, and I just forgot to write it down. There was another Mid song. French techno, of course. So we're gonna continue on. This is Carte Blanche with Gare du Nord, because we need more French techno. That's just the way of the world. That's everything in life. We need more French techno.
and collect our profit.
What we doing here? Who is this?
Hi, I'm Angela Ray.
Angela Ray. You're a new dancer on the new dance show.
Yes, I am.
Okay. Tell me, what do you like about the new dance show?
Well, I really enjoy all the people, and everybody dances really well, and I learned some new moves, and a lot of fun. Really a lot of fun.
Good. I think it's time for a little mix right about now, and we'll go to a little mix.
say, dial it in and ride the wave. Make a change, take the wave that you ride of yesterday. All along you had the key to a cosmic recipe.
Shake it like a supersonic, squeeze it till it's subatomic. Mix it up, you know you want it. Make yourself a pina colada. Pina colada. Shake it like a supersonic, squeeze it till
Good morning, everybody. This is your DJ Dolph on WNUR 89.3 FM, broadcasting in HD1 from the magnificent campus of Northwestern University in Evanston, Chicago, on the shores of Lake Michigan. We're having a little too much fun here. Oh yeah. Chicago Sound Experiment, WNUR.org. I would give you the phone number, but the phone is still not working, which is lame. And I don't know if there's anybody that thinks it's lamer than I do. Maybe there's somebody out there who really wants to call me. Technically, I'll keep my eye on the blinking green light. I honestly don't even know if the phone is on. I should try calling the station. Why am I talking about this? Just whining. So you're getting your daily dose of Aphex Twin right now. DJ Dolph served up some delicious Ventolin. Before that, this is Ventolin. Crow's Mengagus. Oh my gosh, mix. He's always trying to fool people with his writing. He makes Latin script look like nonsense. And yeah. We had 180 dB before that. That was a remix I found online of some guy who made it even trippier than it already was. We had Vitalik with Terminator Benelux before that. And we had an instrumental of Don't You Cry by the Sunday Scaries and Discreet. We heard Space Face with the Pina Collider. Not Pina Colada, the Pina Collider. There's only one time in the song where it's actually explicitly pronounced collider. Not sure if you picked it up or not. But I hope I didn't make you want to drink too much on your morning commute. Ugh. Friday's coming. It's not too far away. It's already Wednesday. Get through today and then you only have to get through 2 more days. Yeah, it's pretty awful, I agree. Then we heard La Bouche with Be My Lover. That might get me copyright striked. So, here at the DJ Dolph Commuter Variety Hour, we've made a new policy, and that is, don't play anything that's going to get you copyright struck off of YouTube. Because that's where I upload on my YouTube channel. And I had one successful show upload, and I tried to upload a second, and they didn't even let me. I mean, the first one was like not monetizable because of copyright music, but the second one was like, we won't even let you make this publicly available. So I hope Be My Lover by La Bouche doesn't put me over the arbitrary limit for frickin' YouTube. But we had Carte Blanche with Gare du Nord. That was pretty good. That was pretty out there. And let's see. Yeah, that's what we started the set out with. But I gotta go pretty soon. It's already 9:23 a.m. I hope everybody's successfully landed at their place of work and are being productive citizens and not stealing from the public or creating more discord that would reduce the amount of wealth creation ability in society. Get out there and do the right thing, dear WNUR listener. I think YouTube has been trying to get me to play Phoenix Funk by Aphex Twin like all morning. So I am gonna play it. We've had plenty of Aphex Twin, I agree, but let's just do a little more and it'll be really cool. In fact, you know what? I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna say it. It might even be splendid.